What's going on, guys? Out here today on the self-built duplex. Been a while since I've done a long form video. We have a lot of short form content that's doing really well on YouTube, but if we're gonna grow this channel, we gotta get back into the long form stuff and get people watching it. So I'd appreciate it if you follow along. It helps us out a lot. Anyway, we are self-building our own duplex, and I am getting all of the utilities under the house. The only thing that we have subbed out on this house has been the roof, and we are about to sub out skirting. So I'm getting all the utilities under the house that I need under the house done before these guys come in 2 days. Here we've got a 1-inch PEX line. This runs out to our main. I'm going from 1 inch to 3/4 inch, put a shut-off valve. Actually probably put a shut-off valve like right here, and then running that over to our main trunk, teeing it in. All the utilities that I did in this house are a trunk and run style. I can show you that in a little bit. But anyway, if you're not following us here, I'd love it if you would follow us, subscribe, ring the bell, all that crap, so that we can do better on YouTube, right? So we have a pretty good following on TikTok, but apparently TikTok's going away. So got to get YouTube going. Anyway, here we go. All right, so I bought an adapter to go from 3/4 inch to 1 inch. And unfortunately, what I didn't buy was a 1-inch crimp ring. So we're gonna go 3/4 to 1. I'm just gonna set this in here. We're gonna run everything else today, get our trunk in line, or tap into our trunk with our fitting. And then I'm gonna come back tomorrow with a 1-inch ring and finish this off. But we can get 99% of this done today. The crimp tool that I bought was on Amazon, and it's called iCrimp F1807. That's the part. And I love this tool. It's a little bit of a pain to swap the parts out, but the way that this thing works is it's got the tool, and then it's got these little inserts that go in, and it changes the size. So the tool itself with no inserts, 1 inch. This is a 3/4 inch. It's got a 1/2 inch and also a 3/8 inch. It's a little bit of a pain to have to swap these in when you're changing sizes, but they're quick connect, and overall, I mean, you get 4 sizes in one tool. And I think this thing was like, I don't know, under $100 or something. So we got that in. Get our crimp. Okay, there's a 3/4. You want to make sure that these ends of the PEX are square. A lot of times when you get a cut, they're not square, so I'll just go back in and cut them again to make sure that they're square. Throw my scraps outside so I can pick them up. Pop your crimp ring on. I'm gonna put our valve. I'm gonna put it this way to make sure that I can, it's gonna be up against here, so I wanna make sure that I can still open and close this. Pop our valve on. This guy back. Take your needle nose, give it a little pinch so it'll stay in place. Take your crimpers, give it a crimp. Take your go, no go. You want to make sure it seats on but doesn't seat all the way, and there's little lines on your go, no go gauge that tell you. So that's a good connection. Good that our last cut wasn't square, so this one's not going to be either. So we'll take this tool, make sure we get a good square cut on this. Throw our crimp ring on, put that on our valve, open our valve to get it out of the way, grab our pliers, give it a pinch. Take our tool, crimp it, take our gauge, and we're good. That's a solid crimp. And there we go. We got our shut-off valve, and I'm gonna go ahead and leave it off when I nail it up, because I still need to pressure test all of our systems. So with it off, I know for a fact that I'm not going to be pressure testing back through my main. I'm going to be testing through to this point right here. And if we have a leak there when we turn the water on, I'll know. So this will let me pressure test everything through the trunk and line and in the house. I got these little nail clamps. Put one here. I'm going to nail that on. Now, this right here is kind of an arch You could do a 90 right here, but I mean, the less fittings, the better. It's trunk and line, so there's a ton of fittings anyway, but I mean, I don't have to use a fitting and it works perfectly fine, no problem. So I'm gonna roll with that. I got one there. I'm gonna put one on the other side of this valve as well. All right, we got double clamp top bottom here, so this can't move. We got a clamp here, shut off valve that we just installed, and it works properly. We're gonna go ahead and leave it off, like I said, for pressure testing. So we need a 3/4, 3/4, 3/4 T. I use these brass fittings. I don't use the plastic ones. If you buy these brass fittings at Home Depot, they're crazy expensive. I've got no idea the quality on these, but I bought these off of Amazon and they were like a quarter the price. And they're brass fittings. Yeah, no asbestos or whatever the hell they claim comes in these things. They have that as well. Same as the ones at Home Depot, but like a quarter the price. So like I said, I don't know the quality of them versus the ones at Home Depot. My guess is they're all built in the same plant in China. Make sure we get a nice square cut on it. And I like to get all of my fitments done before I crimp anything. That way I know that everything fits good before I crimp things. Sometimes you need things to be at an angle. Throw this here. All right, and we'll crimp these, and we just went from a 1-inch main to a 3/4 inch on our main trunk, and we have our shut-off valve on the same side that I'm having them put our access panel. So access panel, you can open that, crawl right there, shut this entire home off from right there. Anyways, I appreciate everybody who watches this video. Please let me know what you think. If the long form content that we're making sucks, please let us know. Editing options, whatever you think could make these better, please let us know. We got to get some long form content going if we're going to get this channel to grow. I appreciate everybody, and I hope this type of stuff is interesting to you. I've got a really cool video that I'm going to make coming up. We're going to be raising 300-pound Amish 100-year-old beans that I got from Pennsylvania, and those are going to be the main feature of the house in the living room. Anyway, appreciate everybody. Hope everybody has a great one. Try not to work too hard.